Hey everybody, this is Lakita and this is our Wellness Wednesday report, and I'm so excited to be coming to you. And today, because we are traveling and we are about and out and about everywhere, I still wanted to make sure that I got this wonderful information into you about the power of planning and purposefully executing. So I'm going to give it to you. Yes, I am in a wonderful studio called my car right now. So let me know that you're on so I can give you some love. So show me that you're on by either pressing like or the love button and let me know who's on. I see a few of you that are on. We'll see what is going to be going on. All right, let me know that you're on. And then we're going to go ahead and get started. It's going to be a powerful, powerful time. And we're literally, hey, I see somebody. So let me know that you're on. And we're going to make sure that you get all this wonderful, powerful information. It's great. I was like so ecstatic about getting this information out to you guys. So, let's just jump right into it. So every single Wednesday, I do what's called a Wellness Wednesday report. And it's usually about 10 to 15 minutes. It's really, really, really going to be short today because I want to make sure you just get the information about the power of planning. And my name is Lakita Long, for those that do not know. Hey, Shanti, God bless you so much for joining us. And I love giving out information. It's stuff that I live by. It's stuff that I do. And I'm just in a really, really great space of making some stuff really happen, not just necessarily for myself, because Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said that when you make contributions for others to live better, then you will always have the wealth that you desire. And I totally, totally believe that. And that's wealth on every level: financial wealth, spiritual wealth, emotional wealth, as well as, relational wealth. So I'm really, really excited to just be able to share information that I'm not talking about in theory, but that I'm actually doing. And that's really, really super duper important. And then we're going to just go on for it. So let's get started. So today's topic for the Wellness Wednesday report is the power of planning and purposely executing. And the other night I got an opportunity to watch Joseph Lacombe, who is the majority owner of the Warriors team. He was being interviewed on the Warrior station on TV. And of course I recorded it because when people who have had very small beginnings are come from nothing and then they amass to something great, they're worth my attention and time to listen to. And one of the things that struck me about Joe Lacombe is that he was so humble. His whole presence, there was nothing about his presence that was arrogant. Here's a man that spent $450 million along with his other co-owner, Peter Guber, to purchase the Warriors about 7 years ago in 2010. With all of this humility and this emotional honesty that he had. And so as I was watching Joe speak last night on the show, I started thinking about if I had the opportunity to ask him some questions in person about planning and being and reaching your goals and accomplishing things, what would I ask him? And as I was thinking of those things, watching the show, he actually was answering my question. Even though the person asked another question, he answered my question. So I've got a ton of wonderful information, real-time information for you to make sure that you are doing whatever it is that you need to do to execute purposefully this year. We cannot keep doing any talking. We've got to execute, and we have to really look at the power of planning. So one of the things that we need to look at first before I go to Joe that I think was interesting. Well, let me just say this. One of the quotes that he said is that if there is no focus, there will be no results. If you do not have focus, there is no result. That comes from Joe Lacombe, who is the majority owner of the Warriors team. So one of the things I want you to consider, that your plans and your purposeful execution is only going to take place when you are laser focused. That's what my coach, Tamara Steele, always tells me. She says, Lakita, you must remain laser focused. And when you're laser focused, it's almost as if your eyes on the prize can literally burn a hole through that thing because you are so focused. And if your goal does not cause you to be that focused, then it's not really a goal. It's a hobby. It might even be a distraction, because when you really have a goal and you really believe that it's attached to your destiny, your purpose, or it's just something that you just really want to do, you're going to be so focused that you're not going to be distracted. So Joe Lacob said that in order to accomplish things and have a level of results that you want to have, you have to be focused. Now watch this. A recent study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology demonstrated that committing to a specific plan for a goal actually frees up your cognitive resources for other pursuits in your life. What it also stated in this particular study was that when you make a plan and you actually write it all out, do what you're supposed to do, what it does is it allows you the opportunity to fully engage in going after something else, right? So here's the thought. There's two things I want to share with you up front. Number one, planning helps us get free mentally. When there's no plan, then we're not free mentally. We're always feeling attached, overwhelmed, and sometimes it's the reason why we're procrastinating, because there's nothing freeing up our mental space. Number two, planning helps us actually move forward. People that are not moving forward, you can guarantee there is no planning. If you're going to be successful in any part of your life, you must plan. And the plan, watch this, the planning has to have an implementation that is intentional. You have to pre-decide, okay? There must be a pre-decision that you're actually going to implement the plan. Most people write down a bunch of plans, right? But the plans never have any implementation behind it. So people are not successful. So watch this. We have pre-decisions about things because it's actually the cue for what activates the environment to actually give you what you want. When you and I make a pre-decision, I am going to implement the plan. For example, I'm a registered marriage family therapist. I can practice, and I have a clinical supervisor that watches me so that if I work underneath their license, right? So I can still counsel people and do all of those things. But in order for me to be a licensed, where I don't have to have a clinical supervisor, I have to take the exam. So what I've been doing is planning. Now, before, my plan was, I'm going to take the licensing exam. And I just took it off the cuff. No studying, and I didn't pass it. I got a 91 out of a 121 is what I needed. So 30 points, which is not bad for someone who didn't study, because some people study and don't do as well. So, but it's bad because I didn't pass it. So now the plan is I am going to take the licensing exam. That's one. I am going to pass the licensing exam. That's plan number two. I am going to study for the exam. That's plan number three. And when am I going to do it? This is really important. You plan first, like I just did, planning for this licensing exam. And then I have to make it specific. I am going to do this licensing exam. When? Because the when also tells me when am I going to study. So if I say I'm going to take the exam in May, that means I'm going to study all of April. And how am I going to study? Am I going to pay for a course? Yes, I have to pay $495 for a course and take that course to study for that exam. And then I'm going to take the exam in May, which means that I'll have to, in April, I'm going to have to pay for the exam first. So do you see why plan is important, but be very specific? Or people will plan until they're in the grave, but there'll be no pre-decision to actually implement the plan. For example, I'll give you another example. In let's say for weight loss, you plan, like, I just have to only lose 25 more pounds, and I know exactly how it's going to happen. You saw that the weight is just coming off, and that's great. My waist is probably a 7'8" right now, but those hips is not a size 7'8". We still somewhere else, right? So in order for me to have the goal of losing 25 pounds, getting to a size 8, hip-wise, I know exactly what I have to do. I have to plan every single day that I have to run. Running has to be a part of my life, whether it's raining, snowing, or whatever the case may be. I've got to run. And I've also got to drink water. And I've also got to plan to eat my fish 2 or 3 times a week. And I've got to make one meal a salad, because that's what really works for my body. If I don't do that, then I've absolutely already planned for failure for my body. And the truth of the matter is, for many of you, if you just moved consistently every day of the week, you'll lose the weight too. So planning is very powerful, the power of planning. Here are the last 3 things I want you to consider as it pertains to planning. There are 3 basic questions that you must ask yourself when it comes to planning. And this is planning for anything in your life. Number 1, where am I now? When you are planning, when I'm planning, I need to ask the question, where am I now? Number 2, where do I want to go? Number 3, what steps will I take to get there? Now, question number 1, where am I now? That is our baseline. And you and I have to establish a baseline. So, for example, where I'm at right now, I am 175 pounds. I want to get down to 150, 25 more pounds. My baseline is 175. Where do I want to go? 150. What are the steps I'll take to get there? Guess what? Run every day. Jumping jacks every day. Sit-ups every day. Jump rope 500 every day. Run heels every other day. Put weights on my ankles. Push-ups. It's imperative. And those steps, and when I don't do those steps, I don't see the results. That's just my body type. And drink the amount of water that I'm supposed to drink. So what am I saying on this Wellness Wednesday report? The power of planning is very, very specific. And you have to have a predetermined mindset to implement what you say you want. You can't say you want $5,000 at the end of the year in your savings account and you won't put away any money and you won't specify how much money you're going to take out of each of your paychecks. You'll never have the $5,000. You'll never have the $5,000. So, for example, I want to take my kids to Hawaii for the summer. And so I've already started saving. And so on the barometer on my savings online for the account, it says where my goal is of how much I want, because I want us to be comfortable. And so you've got to set the plan and watch the steps and how frequently I'm going to put in the money. Every time I get paid, if I get other payments from other checks, I'm going to take out a certain amount of money each time and put it away. So that planning becomes fruitful at the end. And you'll see the power of planning, and you'll also experience what it means to purposely execute. Now, I hope that this has been helpful for you. Hey, I'm your girl, Lakita Long. This is the Wellness Report. Share with somebody and then do it. And if you need some extra help, you need to let me be your coach. You'll never, ever lose if I'm your coach. That is a guarantee. Mwah. I love you. God bless you. And until next Wednesday on our Wellness Report. See you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.